ठीक है, यूज कर लेते हैं. Okay. So before we start, this is today's topic, but that's the common ritual. I will explain about myself. So right now I'm working at American Express. It's been 6 years. I'm a Google developer expert for Android. और इससे पहले I was in Japan, and you know, like I run a channel called Simplified Coding where I post Android related content. And there's my GitHub profile that you can check out. Okay, so before I start today's topic, there is a rule, right? So because I am going to demo, I'll show the application later. So I am going to demo generative AI. So it might not work. Okay, is it working?
I don't think it is
I
working.
don't think.
Start.
Okay. So because it is Gen AI demo, it might not work on the stage. So if it works, what you will do? Clap, right? If it doesn't work, say okay. So let's see if it works or not, because Gen AI is not predictive, right? Anything can happen. So, but before going to this generative AI, I need to explain a little bit of background, like ये क्यों कर रहे हैं. Okay, so why I am giving this talk. So Mumbai meetup में कुछ लोग थे ना, I think. Okay, so if you remember last year का जो मेरा topic था, that I presented many places. Okay, that was about Gemini Nano. Okay, so what is Gemini Nano? On-device AI, right? So it is good. Like you can prompt now. They have this prompt API, so you can perform AI things in on-device. And the major concern about this generative AI is the data leak, right? But किसी को प्रॉब्लम उसका डेटा अगर लीक हो जाए? Anybody? किसी के फोन में ऐसा कुछ है? So, but still, that's the thing, right? Data is an issue. But आजकल तो सबके फोन में at least UPI तो होता ही होगा. तो that's the issue. तो on-device AI, that's good. But the problem is, Google is saying to all the other devices, like तुमसे ना हो पाएगा. Like it's supported for very few devices. Okay, like किसके पास S25 Ultra है यहाँ पर? Except me, of course. है? Anybody has Pixel 10, 9? You, 1. So इस रूम में एक बंदा है जो on-device AI use कर सकता है. So that was the major problem. Like on-device AI, it's for exclusive people, like the guy sitting there. What's his name? Akshay Pawan. Okay. So yeah, you can use it, but that's the major problem. So very few supported devices. Most users, except that guy, left out. So it's very exclusive feature. So you cannot put it to production, right? By the way, जो मैं बताने वाला हूँ उसे production में नहीं डाल सकता. It's an experiment that I did. So that's the problem with on-device AI or Gemini Nano that I'm calling the elite problem. So it was great on Pixel. गौरव नहीं है, दूसरा भी मजाक उड़ा देता था. So Pixel. So it's not reaching the mass market. So the reach is the bottleneck here. So to fix this, I thought कि do something, कुछ प्रबंध करते. Okay. So what if we bring our own model to the application, right? So if you are bringing your own model, it can work on many devices. Again, अच्छा एक और क्वेश्चन, सबसे लो कॉन्फ़िगरेशन का डिवाइस किसके पास है? Who thinks? Like 4 GB RAM, Dimensity प्रोसेसर.
Micromax का
Micromax चलता है क्या? किसी के पास? Anybody has 6 GB RAM? Which phone you have?
It's 8 Samsung.
I think it will work on that also. Okay, so if you bring your own model, it will be slow. It may heat up your CPU, but it will work. Okay, and it is the same thing. You own the pipeline. It is offline capable, and there is a cost that we will talk about later. Hello. हमारा पंचलाइन मिस हो गया. ठीक है. So nice, right? अगर एप्लीकेशन खुद का मॉडल डाल दें तो it will be nice, right? It's your own model. You can also tune it if you want to fine tune. So I don't understand how to do fine tune. Okay, that's a topic I need to learn yet. But अगर किसी को पता है, so you can fine tune the model and you can put that model in your application, right? There is a cost that I will not discuss it now. But before you get too much excited and you think this is a must plan, let me tell you. I think I accidentally deleted one slide. That was after this. But it's okay. So not all models are supported in mobile, right? So before you think the plan is must, वो slide था, so sorry delete. So सारे models नहीं support करते. You cannot just download any model and put it in mobile and expect it to run, right? That makes sense, right? सारे models phone में तो नहीं चल सकते क्योंकि models requires what? GPU. ये AI models है वो GPU में run करते हैं, ठीक है? So it's very hard to run models in mobile devices because hardware capacity is very low. So today's mission is that. So we will learn how we can put custom models in your application. And to do this, we will use llama.cpp. If you know what is that, ever heard the name llama.cpp?
I've heard about llama.
Okay. And I'll show you a real working pipeline, right? Excited? So that's my topic for today. I'll show you a demo also. But I think showing the code is a little hard in this screen.
Light.
Okay, let's see. So that's why the topic from Hugging Face to APK. So Hugging Face का नाम तो सबने सुना होगा, किसी ने नहीं सुना? Okay, so it's basically like GitHub for AI models. You can search models, you can search by size and task, and because it is community driven, it is free to explore. Okay, so now that makes us very excited. Like, yeah, we have a lot of models, we can do whatever we want. Generative AI in the mobile phone, right? But that's the real problem. Many models are huge. So first drawback that you will face is your application size will increase like hell and you cannot even release it to the Play Store. Right? So कैसे release करेंगे?
Lightweight model.
हाँ?
Lightweight model.
Like कभी game download किया है? Runtime is there in the phone. हाँ?
Runtime download जैसा कुछ नहीं.
Yeah. So you need to provide this model as an asset. You cannot just ship it to the Play Store. So वो एक drawback हो जाता है and user needs to download at least 800-900 MB क्योंकि उससे छोटा model मुझे मिला नहीं. Okay, so you can go and explore. So models require GPU, mobile has tight RAM, and the format that you will get in Hugging Face will be mostly incompatible. Okay, so what I use to select the models. So there is a format that is called Generalized Gradient Update Framework, or in short GGUF, right? So you go to Hugging Face and search these models that are GGUF compatible, right? Or the format is GGUF. So what is this? This is an optimized binary format, especially for low-end devices like mobile phone and tablets. Okay, did you heard this extension GGUF? Use किया किसी ने? नहीं. Okay. So there is one more thing, llama.cpp, that we'll check. So it loads faster, right? It can work on your mobile CPU. It loads faster, and the memory overhead is very low. So that's why we will use this format. Now this is also an experimentation from my side. Okay, so I'm not sure whether you can run other type of models or not. Maybe you can. That you guys need to check out. But for now, I tested or experimented with this model only, GGUF. Okay, clear? So what I looked for? So I put the filter like the model parameter should be under 1.5 billion. Okay, so this much parameter requires, and it should be quantized. Quantized means it is basically compressed for mobile devices, right? And the format should be GGUF. And the last point that I have written that we were discussing, reasonable quality. Now even I'm not sure how do you define quality of a model, right? Because personally I feel the GPT और तुम्हें से more or less same result ही मिला. So do you guys have any objective idea to define this model is superior and this is not?
I think it's a parameter, I'm not sure, but it's a token window, maybe it's better that way.
But even like let's say parameter count is more, but depends na result तुम्हें क्या मिल रहा है, and AI gives more or less subjective results, right? So that's an open question. I even don't have the answer. So how do you define the quality of the models? That's an open question. So what you can do is you can download the model, test the application, and see whether it is fulfilling your use case or not. Okay? Clear? So the model I used in this project that I'm going to show you is Tiny Llama 1.1 billion Chat V 1.2. Okay? इसका size लगभग 900 MBs है, and it works fine on a device that adds 6 GB of RAM. बहुत low end device मैंने try नहीं किया, maybe it might not work, but that thing you need to check out. Or maybe today we can check Gaurav के exam. So in my phone it works absolutely fine. Okay. So this is the pipeline. So I downloaded a model from Hugging Face. Okay, you put that model in your assets folder, assets folder in your Android project, and you need llama.cpp, that is the NDK. Now why we need NDK? Because these models utilizes CPU, right? अगर उसके बीच में you put the ART, that is Android runtime, तो overhead बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, it will not work. So it needs the C++ framework to run. That's why you need to write NDK code है. किसी ने NDK code write किया है उसके project में? No, you did it, right? Confusing, right?
नहीं,
It was very easy.
हाँ पहले थोड़ा टफ था पर
Nice. So, like, also for me, I'm not much experienced in writing NDK, but for this project I did. Okay, so there was a confusing part that is called cmakelets.txt. That is the Gradle for NDK. That I felt is quite confusing, and we don't have much documentation, and even AI is failed to help me. Okay, so that's the part, and then you create a Kotlin, right? You create external function that you call, and internally those function calls the C++ function, and that uses the LLM that you added in your project. So we'll know something about llama. So इसको पहचानता कोई? नाम तो honestly मैं भी भूल गया था. Nobody knows him.
Gemini से photo ले लेगा.
हाँ?
Gemini से photo लेगा.
अरे यार कोई AI नहीं यूज करेगा ऐसे. So he's the guy who written this llama.cpp. Okay, what llama is? It is a framework that helps you run LLM in mobile devices. Okay, so his name is Georgi Gerkenau, if I'm pronouncing it right. Huh? Okay, so what is llama.cpp? So it is a framework, or you can say C++ program, क्योंकि we need the direct CPU access. And for this, in Android, the method is NDK. You can run machine को directly. So ये तुम्हारे जो ART होता है Android runtime, उसके भी नीचे चलता है. Directly CPU को throttle करता है. Okay, so that's why you need llama, क्योंकि you cannot run LLMs with Android runtime. Okay, and llama.cpp has zero dependencies, no Python, no PyTorch. So it is very optimized for ARM processors. Okay, what is ARM processor? The one that we use in our mobile devices, right? बाकी दूसरा प्रोसेसर को क्या बोलते हैं?
x86.
वो क्या होता है?
आर्किटेक्चर है प्रोसेसर.
हाँ, मुझे भी ज़्यादा नहीं पता इसलिए पंच मारने की कोशिश करता हूँ.
ARM is better.
So mobile devices uses ARM, okay, and it uses this neon instruction sets, और ये सारे keywords Google कर लेना. I don't know much, okay. So basically ARM processor फोन से पाए जाते हैं that uses the neon instruction set. ये हम लोग कॉलेज में पढ़ते थे ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम के टाइम, right? What we used to study. One friend of mine from my college time sitting here. So what we used to study? Intel 8085, right? If you remember.
yes yes
So वो कुछ चक्कर है, you guys check it out, okay? If you want to learn or ask Gemini. So how it works? You need the brain, that is your model. सो हगिंग फेस पे जाओ, वो डाउनलोड करो, ठीक है। मैंने अपने रेपो में नहीं डाला है क्योंकि साइज बहुत बड़ा है, तो एक अलग चक्कर हो जाता है लार्ज फाइल्स डेटा में पुश करने। देन यू नीड द एनडीके ब्रिज, सो यू विल मेक C++ कोड दैट विल इन्फर द मॉडल एंड द C++ कोड विल गेट ब्रिज्ड विथ Kotlin कोड। सो Kotlin का फंक्शन कॉल करोगे, वो इंटरनली C++ का फंक्शन कॉल करेगा और C++ LLM को कॉल करेगा, तुम्हारा प्रॉम्प्ट भेजेगा, यू विल गेट द रिप्लाई बैक, क्लियर। एंड फाइनली यू विल डिस्प्ले द रिजल्ट टू योर composable UI. A little bit confusing. So enough talk. Now I need to show you some code. So अगर दिखाई नहीं दे रहा तो सामने आना, क्योंकि I am going to open the Android Studio project. दिख रहा है?
दिख रहा है क्या गाइस पीछे?
फाइल स्ट्रक्चर को दिखाना।
हाँ अच्छा फाइल स्ट्रक्चर
ये का फाइल मॉडल्स डाउनलोड करना है तुमको। पुट दिस मॉडल इन दिस एसेट्स फोल्डर, ओके। नाउ यू नीड टू लोड दिस फाइल। सो तुम्हारा जो CPP फ्रेमवर्क क्या कर रहा है, इट कन्वर्ट्स योर C++ कोड इन shared object library, and that library will call this model. Okay, so I have used AI to write this C++ code that you will later check out because I will share the repository. But the main thing here is this file. So this is the bridge. Okay. So I am loading my library that I have created using CPP, but the main function is init model and the run inference. Okay. So you see this file, if you click here, you go to the C++ code. So whatever is happening here, as an Android developer, I don't understand much, but let's go back. So basically we have two functions, okay. One that will initialize the model, and the next one, that is the important one, it will send the prompt and will get the callback. Very simple, right? For callback I have created this because जब मैं इसे create कर रहा था ना, तो मतलब मैंने prompt डाला, कोई response आ नहीं रहा था क्योंकि it takes time, right? और तुम्हें prompt में थोड़े constraints भी डालने पड़ेंगे कि वो बहुत ज़्यादा लंबा response ना generate करे. So you wait 2 minutes, 3 minutes, it was not showing anything. So I created this callback so that I can display token by token, जैसे GPT में आता है। एक टोकन मिल गया, I display to the UI, तो यूजर को दिखाई। Okay, so I created this callback. And last file that I want to show is this. Okay, so this is the file name. So if you are using some other model, तो आपको assets में वो model डालना पड़ेगा और file name यहाँ पर change करना पड़ेगा, and you can use the same repository. Okay, I'll give the link. You can try and play. So I am just loading this file, and this is making the inference to the model. Simple, right? Now we'll show the application. Okay. So for this meetup, I had to create something interesting, right? So now you guys interact. If you have the local AI and you need to create something, what you will choose? My choice might be very bad. So तुम लोग का choice समझने की कोशिश करो. What you will choose? मतलब local generative AI that can perform few tasks, not like much reasoning, or you cannot expect it to know everything.
Maybe summarize something.
Okay.
ऐसा कुछ भी ले लो.
So what I created is in flights. Sorry. आवाज आ रहा पीछे तक बिना माइक का है.
Yeah.
Okay. माइक छोड़ो. So in flights I get bored. Okay. और गेम्स भी आजकल अवेलेबल नहीं ज़्यादा जो बिना इंटरनेट के चलते हैं. Okay, so what I did is, अच्छा मुझे ये शेयर करने के लिए केबल चाहिए, किसी के पास टाइप सी केबल प्लीज? हाँ टाइप सी. Okay, so I created an application just for fun. You put your depressing thoughts here, and it will give you 3 options. Okay. Okay, so anybody having some bad thoughts right now in their mind?
Yeah, would I replace my job?
भाई यही prompt करने वाला. Okay, so okay, I will write something else. Let's say my manager called me. We need to talk. Okay, that's it. It will give you 3 options. Now, what it will give, I have no idea. Okay, let's see. So I told you the rule, right? If it works, clap. Doesn't, also clap.
ये UI ChatGPT जैसा लग रहा है.
Ah, I tried to mimic it. Okay. So it gives you 3 options.
The stoic.
So it is a philosophy, right? The stoic, the strategist, and the optimist. So you will get 3 options, and I think the first one is not working well. This one is fine. I also need to show you prompt that I'll show. Okay. So okay, ये भी फट गया भाई. फट गया ये. Last one seems fine. The optimist. So we need to talk about the issue at hand, the importance of communication, the need for open and honest dialogue, and some things. Right? Sometimes it works fine. Sometimes it is funny. Sometimes it is weird right now. Okay, so you can try. I created one more thing. Like in your applications, you can use some use cases. For example, you are taking address from user and you want to pass it to JSON. For example, I enter my address. Okay. Let's try this one. Okay. So I enter address in natural language and I got a broken JSON. Android developer. Can you see it's very small, right? So but still it is parsing, right? So you need to tweak it a little. I will show you the prompt that I used. That was the first one. Okay. So this is the name of some Greek philosopher. So this is the prompt, and in this models you can constrain with some keywords. Okay, so what is the system, what is the user input, like this. You can check this out in Hugging Face. And this one to pass the JSON. Okay, so this is my prompt. I am building the prompt, I am taking user input, building the prompt, giving it to LLM. If you see here, for example here, this is I created, I am inferring the prompt, getting the response with my callback and showing it to UI. Simple, right? So that was the project. Now let's come back to the PPT. Okay, so if you want to explore the project, you can scan this QR code that we will share later also, right? So if you're opening a project, please start it. कितने लोग हैं? Okay. So
Too many people.
You can explore. If you are checking, please start the project. And at last, one bonus content I planned. So recently I published a video. You can scan the QR code or later you can get it the presentation. Okay. So what I did is I created a QA. Okay. So what you do is when you run the application, you use the application. So what you can do is you can project the screen to Gemini AI. Okay. It can watch the screens and based on your user pattern, it will write all the Compose UI test. UI test ऐसे भी कोई नहीं लिखता होगा यहाँ पर. Anybody writes UI test in their project? Very bad thing to do. Okay, so if you don't write UI test, you can use this tool to automatically write the UI tests, right? So you use the application, it projects it to Gemini, and based on the pattern, Gemini will generate the UI test. That UI test will go to Firebase, and in the Android side, I have created a plugin that will fetch the generated test to proper package in your test module. Okay, and you just tweak it a little and run it, and done. You have the UI test. So if you go to this URL that is in this QR code, you can see that. Okay, and that's it. If you guys have any question, I'm happy to answer.
Can you show the QR code again?
Yeah. You will get the PPT, I'll share.
Does it maintain context? That,
Yeah, for this I have written a proper prompt that you can check in the repository. Okay. So if you go to this repository, there is a separate branch that is called feature magic QL. You need to open that branch, and I have also written the README for the steps. Okay, so you can easily, I'll show you. So this is the same project, and you see it is magic QA is there. Okay, so I'm working on it. I'll update it so you can mark it and check. So this is the normal project that I shown you, and in the same project I have created a magic QA module. This module will not go to production. Only you will use it just to generate the test cases. So you click the button, you wrote something, you did whatever, everything will be generated automatically for Compose UI. Okay, using the robots pattern. Anything else you want to ask?
I asked, does it maintain the context?
Context
Previous
of?
questions.
Huh?
Previous questions.
Yeah, it maintains. I have written the context in the prompt. So the prompt that I have written, it will always go. So the context is the same. I don't think it keeps the context from previous tests.
Not
But-
about test, but in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah. So you can put anything in the prompt. Okay, you have to design the prompt. Okay, I cannot show you the prompt, but you can check in the
So
repository.
basically, the prompts always goes with your question, right?
So what I'm doing, I'm using media pipe. Okay, media projection, sorry. So with media projection, I am streaming the screen. And
I'm not talking about that
QA
QA project. I'm asking about that LLM thing which you
Okay.
integrated. Okay. So उसमें जब आप system prompt लिख रहे हो, right? It always goes with your each question.
या एंड वो जब आप हगिंग फेस में जाओगे तो वहाँ हर मॉडल्स का कुछ कीवर्ड्स भी होता है दैट फॉर एग्जांपल ये सिस्टम इनपुट है, ये यूजर इनपुट है, वो डिफाइन करने का.
So suppose I made a project, ठीक है, similar to ChatGPT,
हाँ.
ठीक है. It will maintain that context कि मैंने 6
No,
questions
no.
पहले कौन सा.
No, not like that. You cannot expect local AI just 800 MB to do that thing. Okay. So it is for very small use cases. For example, whatever Gemini Nano can do, it can do. I tried. Okay, you cannot expect more than that. Okay, you can just summarize text, fix grammars, read images, but you cannot expect to have context like chats. That is not possible in mobile devices.
Right now the issue is with LLMs is just a context
These are too huge. ऐसे भी जब आप यूज करते हो तो आफ्टर 100 prompts आपका ब्राउजर भी काफी स्लो हो जाता है. So it's too heavy. Anybody else?
So I think
Did you like the project, guys?
Yes.
So please go and star the GitHub repository.
so it's as its name suggests, it's a llama.cpp. So is it limited to Meta's models, or it's like
No. It is a framework that can run any LLM.
any LLM, and you need to get manage that GGUF format?
Yeah. If you want to run on phone, Llama is not only for phone. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to phone, I tried GGUF because I also started exploring this branch. I don't have much idea. Maybe other formats also work.
No. I tried Tiny Llama on a computer which has i5 and 16 GB of RAM, SSD, etc. Good configuration.
Yeah.
But it's like CPU was like
Tiny
about
Llama.
to fly. Like it was using 100% CPUs just to answer basic questions, and
It's
after
working
5
absolutely
minutes.
fine in my phone. How it's not working in CPU? Though I have not tried in CPU.
But
Okay, I also tried in this phone. Okay, works fine.
But it was not
Yes.
GGUF. I was using
Yeah, that's
that might be the game series.
GGUF is optimized for mobile devices. Anyone else? पूछना भाई? कुछ नहीं? Nice.
So, the code which you have written in the C++ file, does that depend on the model that you have included in your project?
No. It's just a framework that can use any model. You just need to change the file name.
Okay.
Whatever model you have inserted in your assets, you need to change the file name. It will work with that model. So you can go change the model and play and think which model works better for your specific use case. Okay. So in this application, you can generate the responses. You can even save them. So the project uses clean architecture. If you want to learn that also, you can check it out.
So changing the model in the file name will do the
You just change the model in the asset, or put one more model in the asset folder and change the file name in this file. Okay, one more thing you need to do. I will tell you. So here you need to change the file name. Okay, and when you clone this repository, right? You have to go to this CPP folder. Here you have to create this libs, and inside libs you have to add llama.cpp. You will get it in GitHub. Just search llama.cpp. You will get the repository. Put whole repository here. That's it. Okay, and make sure to change the folder name to llama.cpp. Okay, because it is also very huge. I cannot push it to my repository. Okay, so you need to put it. It is ignored in Git. So put the model, put llama.cpp, and that's it.
Have you checked the APK size of this project?
Yeah, that's the major drawback. So let's check the APK size. If we go to generated outputs, so it will be around 900 MB. Okay, so that's why I'm running it in the phone, because in emulator it will not install. You see the size of the APK? Okay, 844.7 MB. Okay, so that's the major drawback. So if you want to ship it, you need to create another stream that will download the model, and if the model is not downloaded, the feature is not available for the user. Even if you use Gemini Nano, Android OS downloads the model, and that are also heavy in size. But OS is maintaining that, so user don't need to worry. But in this case, you need to ship the model with your application. So that's the major drawback, especially in a country like India where data is still not widely available. Unlimited data.
Was there any criteria while selecting the model that you have used apart from the size of it?
Yeah, no other criteria. Okay, because I didn't have time to check all the parameters and the quality. So it is just a working solution. I will work more on it. Okay, you can also try with different models. Anyone else? आ जाओ राजेश भाई. कैसा लगा पाइपलाइन?
कैमरा में आएगा ना आवाज? ठीक है गाइस, तो थोड़ा सा चेंज इन शेड्यूल. प्रखर विल बी टॉकिंग नेक्स्ट. थोड़ा हमको मैनेज करना है यहाँ पे लंच एंड एवरीथिंग फॉर यू फोक्स. सो प्रखर विल बी गोइंग नेक्स्ट. By the way, Belal is around. If you have any questions, come feel free to talk.